Okay, so here's the situation. Colin Smith, who I forgot to pronounce his name, got a another. Let me turn this off. Another first round stoppage, April the 2nd, 2016, against Hadila Mohoumadi. And he is the WBC number one contender at 168 pounds. The current champion at 168 pounds, WBC, is Americans. Well, he's not American. He's actually, what is he, Swedish? But Mayweather Promotions, Badu Jack. Badu Jack is taking on Lucien Bute April the 30th. And also on that card is James DeGale, IBF 168-pound champion, versus Bad Medina. T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Okay, Colin Smith, in my opinion, is the best Smith brother. I'm still, okay, his last two fights, which were his biggest fights, were first round knockouts. So yeah, he looks amazing. He looks like he can beat anyone, but I want to see him. I want to see him go the distance or fight a more credible opponent before I say, okay, yeah, he can beat everybody at 168 pounds. Because right now, to me, it's looking like he can beat everybody at 168 pounds, but I'm not going to jump the gun just yet. So let me tell you what he's saying he's going to do. And truth be told, he has no choice. Remember those two fights I mentioned earlier with Badu Jack and James DeGale? Well, those guys have signed the contract to fight in a unification. Now, they're going to fight in that unification sometime in the fall or early winter of 2016. If they win their fights. Of course, Badu Jack has to beat Lucien Bute, and James DeGale has to beat Bad Medina. So, Colin Smith is basically, he has to wait until mid-2017 or so to get his title shot. So, who is he going to fight next? I would love to see him fight George Groves. I believe that if George Groves won another chance at a title shot, he's had 3 chances so far. 2 against Carl Froch and 1 against Badu Jack, and where he was supposed to win and he didn't. I believe that him and George Groves should be the next fight that they build up for possibly the end of the year. Now, with George Groves being a diva and all that, I don't know if George Groves would take the fight against a guy who has 2 straight knockouts in the first round. George Groves right now may be very protective of his career because, truth be told, in my opinion, if George Groves loses to Smith on a domestic level, then in my opinion, he's forever going to be a domestic fighter. So right now, George Groves is in the last stages of his title run. This seems like the last run for him. But they're saying that maybe he may fight Martin Murray. Colin Smith can maybe fight Martin Murray. Now, let me look at the 168-pound division. And because I believe this, I don't believe that Eddie Hearn should have him fight, another journeyman. I really feel that he should try to get a big fight for him to get the momentum of going into a situation where he's choosing a weight, right? He's going into a situation if he wins his next fight to where the champion he's going to fight is going to have 2 titles. 2 birds with 1 stone. So basically, he can win the IBF and the WBC title all in one night. So right now, I believe that to go into that and to make it, a more worthy pay-per-view attraction, you should get him a bigger name than Christopher Rabras, Fielding, and Mohoumadi. So I'm looking at some names here. And, well, you don't want to go after Felix Sturm or Fida Chu, if that's a whole different title situation. You don't want that stinking WBA title anyway. Let me see here. I'm looking at names, and truth be told, there's a lot of names that you don't know that I know, and the 168-pound division is deep, but when it comes to the deepness of it, it's more international fighters than American fighters or UK fighters. So, in order to make it big fights, he would have to go there. Let me see here. Let me just try to find a name. Let me just try to find one name. I already mentioned Martin Murray and George Groves. Let me see. Let me see. Hugo Centeno, but he's not really, he's still an up and coming guy. I don't know. I don't know. Marco Antonio Parabon, maybe. Yeah, I think that would be a good fight. Give him Marco Antonio Parabon. I mean, after what James DeGale did to him, let's see how he would be with a matchup against him. But like I said, like he's good, Callum Smith, but I'm not ready to say that he's world class just just yet. Just yet. Just yet. So it's not disrespect. I'm giving him a lot of praise actually. Follow me on Twitter where I keep consistent boxing updates on boxing all around the world, American, or international. Go on my Facebook page where I post highlights. We're doing a complete overhaul of everything starting in June. I've really been working. I'm supposed to launch my website in March, but not to rush it. I pushed it back to August. So I'm gonna leave that at that. For the longtime supporters and followers, we got some things that are finally coming into place. And then once I get those things, out there, I'll be able to explain to you what the future plans are. But I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Follow me on Twitter. Please subscribe.